Hello and welcome to Frontlining 101, where I teach you important concepts and skills related to tanking, also known as frontlining and deadlock. Today we'll be going over the concept of space. Make sure you pay attention, as this all will be on the test. What is space? Space is best described as a safe, free usable area of the map or specific area that your team has more control over and can die from the enemy team. This allows players in this space to freely do whatever they want, such as stealing camps, taking buffs, and just generally moving about the map. A good way to show an example of this space is with objectives. The more you have over the enemy, the more ground you can work with. For example, if your team has taken a walker, the wave is going to be shoving a lot further in, giving you and your team more space to work with on that side of the map. You've probably had a scenario where the enemy has taken all walkers, you can barely push up or clear a wave, or even take a camp, without getting jumped. This is because the enemy has more space to move about the map. Let's take a look at an example here. I don't have my Guardian up, and the wave is pushed into my walker. Even though I get these 2 kills here, I cannot push properly because I don't have as much space to work with, and the enemy can just jump me whenever they want. This is because they have more space on the map. Next up, specific space, aka fight space. Now this is a bit more important than usual space and is what I'm going to be referring to going forward. This involves space and fights and how you work around it, something that frontliners are best at controlling. But space is more than just occupying a location. A Vindicta can walk up to an area that the enemy team is, but she would just get exploded instantly. However, almost every character can create space in their own different way. Number 1 is being a threat. If you're a very fed carry, for example, you give out the idea if you come here, you will die. Giving you and your team more space at the presence of you being at the fight makes the enemy team more afraid of pushing up and dying, creating space. Let's take a look at an example of this. As you can see, we are pushed up into the enemy's base, and we do have rejuve. But if you take a look at my Wraith here, the enemy is running away from her because she is so powerful at this time, therefore creating space with her threat. Up next is important abilities and cooldowns. Some characters, such as a Dynamo Black Hole, if I know that he has it up, I'm going to be a lot more wary of pushing into the enemy and starting the fight. The simple threat of him having the ability up can create space in itself, provided that there isn't anything that can counter it during that moment. The same applies to certain abilities, such as Combo or an Abrams Charge, in a similar vein as a fed carry, but with crowd control instead. In this clip, I'm going to show you an example of someone not respecting this idea. Here, the enemy is pushing up with rejuve and they are not respecting my Dynamo's Black Hole. They are not respecting our space, and therefore they get punished for it. Number 3 is the unknown. If I'm not seeing someone clearing a wave or taking a camp, I'm usually going to be cautious pushing up. I do not know where the enemy is, and the possibility that the enemy could be waiting to pick me creates space in itself. I am foregoing pushing due to the threat that could be there, therefore creating space. Let's take a look at this Infernus here. He's pushing into an unknown territory. I don't have the start of the clip, but he did not respect the enemy's space by pushing up here. He didn't know what was here. Therefore, he dies for it. He did not respect the enemy's space, and therefore he gets punished. Holding space and maintaining it. This is the most important here. This is the theory that applies to frontliners specifically. Many characters can create space for various reasons, but frontliners are the best at maintaining and holding it. As per the earlier example, a Vindicta can create space due to the threat of her damage and her snipe, but a tank such as Abrams can stay in the dangerous area and survive while doing so, while also having the threat as well. Sometimes the simplest form of space is just standing there. Considering Abrams in a doorway, you're already creating space by making it difficult for the enemy to push into you, due to your survivability and your threat of your shoulder charge. If it was just as Haze standing there, an enemy would have less of a reason to push into that position. An excellent example that is somewhat recent is the new Rift objective. In this scenario, the Abrams enters the Rift and is able to survive and stall until his team arrives to support him. This is one of the few reasons why tanks are best at holding and maintaining space. If you maintain the space, you have control over the fight, and how it goes. In this clip, I initiate the rift objective by going in first. I know that I'm able to stall the objective with my ult and my survivability until my team arrives for backup. If I was a squishier character, such as a Vindicta, I would not have the ability to do this, as I would just get instantly blown up and focused. Tanks also draw a lot of tension during the fight. Ability ulting creates a lot of attention, and the enemy team wants to get away from where they get pulled, creating space, and you'll be taking a lot of punishment while doing so. This draws the damage away from your carry and gives him more space to work with while you're setting up the fight for him. The same applies to other frontliners as well, such as a Victor getting in the middle of the enemy, an Abrams charge, or a Yamato grapple. These characters have the ability to get into the fight and stay in it. Carries just can't do that unless they are extremely fed. In this clip, I get a big chain gang, therefore all the enemy attention is on me rather than my squishy teammates. I'm also able to set up the fight for my squishier carries to deal all the damage. Even though I did get most of the kills here, it still allowed my teammates to shoot into the enemy with impunity, and I created space for them to work. It is also helpful to think it in terms of seconds. If the tank can only survive for, say, 5 more seconds before needing to back up, heal, or just die, that's 5 more seconds someone else can deal the damage, reposition, or get a cooldown back, which can change the fight dramatically, no matter how small. In this clip, I am entering a very dangerous scenario. They are all grouped up in the middle pit, and they have a ice dome up. Usually, most characters would be dead here, but because I'm the tank, I'm able to survive and even steal a rejuve, and I'm able to have my Lash come in and back me up, therefore helping us win the fight. But Weaver, I must ask, why is this important? Does any of it matter if you can just outdamage the enemy? What happened to Oklahoma in 2006? While I can't answer most of these, I can answer some of them. Why can't you just out-DPS them? Well, space creates damage in multiple different ways, and can be applied in an endless amount of ways. So I'll give you a few examples. In this clip, I'm able to push up and take the enemy's attention with my ult and my tankiness, drawing all their fire onto me. After my pull, this allows my pocket to come in and clean up the rest, therefore creating damage that he otherwise wouldn't have. Now unfortunately I don't have clips for everything, so you're going to have to take my word on it for these last few points, but I promise you that they are important and it is worth listening. A tank that has pushed up and created sidelines for his team is perfect for a Vindicta or Talon to set up snipes and birds, and to do so without fear of punishment. A tank that has cornered an enemy with CC and damage will put all the focus on them. This allows the enemy to forget about the dynamo that's on the roof that is going for a 6-man black hole. Even just a few more seconds allows him to get in a good position for it. Had Dynamo went in himself, he wouldn't have the space needed to create such a high value ultimate, therefore creating damage. In this clip, me pushing up and facing the enemy team by myself allowed my Dynamo the precious few seconds to be able to hop in and get the massive black hole for us winning the game. I created space by using my tankiness and my survivability in order to make Dynamo get the game-winning play. Notice that in everything I've told you here, I haven't brought up the tank's damage themselves. While tanks can certainly do a lot of damage, they mostly make it possible for someone else to, most notably the carry. By giving their team the most space to work with, they created more damage than an enemy carry could with the more souls. This concludes today's lesson. Be sure to like and subscribe, as this took quite amount of time to make, and I'm hoping to make more of these in the future. Please review me and let me know what I've done better and explain better, as I'm still new to this whole content creation thing and I'm trying to figure things out. I hope to be more educational to people in the future, and I hope you found this useful. Thank you and have a wonderful day.